So second-year Baltimore Ravens wide receiver is currently working with some NFL superstar wide receivers like Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. We also got some really intriguing, exciting insights from Eric Decosta talking about some draft strategy, meeting with Chop Robinson. We also got some updates on what the offense could look like and much more Baltimore Ravens news. So welcome in to another episode of Ravens Reports. It's your guy Noah here with For the Flock. As always, bringing you guys our top 5 news reports and storylines coming out of our Baltimore Ravens today, man. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I'm fired up because the Baltimore Orioles are currently smoking the Angels right now. So we got Orioles baseball on. We got Baltimore Ravens offseason stuff going on. We also got Easter tomorrow. So I'm having a great day. I hope you guys are as well. Let's dive into the content. At number 1, Eric Decosta talks about some open mistakes that he's made as the general manager for the Baltimore Ravens starting in 2019. The first year that he was a general manager, he let a lot of guys walk like Terrell Suggs, Eric Weddle, Zadarius Smith, and others. And it wasn't very popular, but he talks about making a huge mistake. That was going out and signing Earl Thomas to a massive deal. He recently spoke in an interview that was really, really insightful, really good stuff called, it was with Next Up with Adam Brenneman. And the interview was phenomenal. I got a couple of takeaways from this interview, but first off, I love how humble he was about the mistake it was to sign Earl Thomas. He said, incredible football player, but the character fit was not there. And the reason why they got rid of Earl Thomas was due to stuff off of the football field. He said he did not make phone calls about his character, asking other players and coaches who've worked with him, coached him, their thoughts on his, personality, character, that type of stuff. He said that was a big mistake. Ended up cutting him the following year. He also talks about a hilarious story where he traded a player, and we know who the player is. It was Kenny Young. Remember when Kenny Young was traded to the Rams and for like a 4th-round draft pick, and I think we got a player in return, but he said, basically, he summed up that he was not in favor with the coaching staff, called him some kind of mean, insulting words, some names, and they were going to trade this football player. Kenny Young came into Eric Decosta's office. Eric was going to let him know, hey, you're being traded to the LA Rams, and he was carrying an ice cream cone. He took that ice cream cone and decided he wanted to throw it away. So he located a trash can across the room in Eric Decosta's office and decided to throw said ice cream cone into the trash can from across the room. He missed the trash can and it got all over the floor. He said he instantly did not feel bad about trading that football player anymore. So just some inside, type of stuff from a general manager's perspective. A lot of times we wonder why a player isn't worth as much or gets traded or should, a lot of stuff that goes in behind the scenes that we don't get to necessarily analyze as fans a lot. He talked about prioritizing signing their own free agents. We saw it with Roquan Smith getting that massive deal before he hit free agency. We saw it with Mark Andrews. We saw it with Lamar Jackson. We saw it with Justin Madubuike. A lot of superstar homegrown talent that he said they'll prioritize paying, but they're not as willing to go out and pay big-time names in free agency. And they actually have a model, kind of a formula that will analyze a player's value. He said, if an agent calls him and they say, hey, we're getting offers for this player for $4 million, but their model says, hey, this player's actually worth $7 million, and they'll be willing to kind of, take on that free agent. They had a model. I thought that was really interesting. He also said that the draft is his favorite time of the year. By the way, we are exactly 25 days away from the NFL draft. I'm fired up for it, man. I'm excited. I can't wait to break this down with you guys. But He said the draft is a favorite time of the year, the most satisfaction he gets in life besides from his family. So just tells you how passionate Eric Decosta is about the NFL draft and why he's pretty, good at it. And at number 2, speaking of the NFL draft, Eric Decosta said they recently had in Chop Robinson for a visit, that they were having some guys in They were also attending some local pro days and whatnot, and brought up Chop Robinson because I believe the interview was actually taking place at Penn State. And Chop Robinson, I want to pull up this post here from All 22 Films, who does excellent film study, very knowledgeable. He put this out, man. Make sure to go check out his work on YouTube. But he put out this tweet, Chop Robinson, Iowa versus Michigan. He said, Robinson is a projected first-round pick as a result of his explosiveness and burst off the line of scrimmage. That showed up at the combine because he's a physical freak. He's fast. He's explosive. He put up 9.5 sacks in 22 and 23. I think the Ravens are going to be really high on this prospect, the way he plays football, his athletic testing, which they take into high account. I would not be surprised if Chop Robinson's on the board if the Ravens pull the trigger on that pick, or another big-time edge rusher could be in the mix there in the first round for the Ravens. Keep your eye out on that. And I would not be mad if the Ravens picked up Chop Robinson to have the two former Penn State boys, Odafe Owe, Chop Robinson, getting after the quarterback, and then hopefully David Ojabo, develops as well, and then sign a veteran. And I think you're looking pretty good in that edge room. But at number 3, let's talk about the offseason schedule that was just released by the Baltimore Ravens. And the program begins on April 15th. They have offseason OTA workouts on the 20th, 22nd, 28th, 30th, the 3rd of June, and the 6th of June. And really excited to start to see these guys trickling in, running routes, catching passes, working on scheme, especially with the first-year defensive coordinator there and Zach Orr. I can't wait to see what this defense looks like with Zach Orr. And the big date here is mandatory minicamp, where everyone has to report. The other ones are optional, but the mandatory minicamp is June 11th through 13th. And they're able to get a lot done, a lot of actual football stuff done on the field. And then before you know it, it's training camp, and the season's right back there in September. So here's what the offseason dates look like, and really excited for these upcoming dates. At number 4, Zay Flowers working out with the Cheetah, Tyreek Hill, and Jalen Waddle, who are both absolutely elite, top 10 type of receivers. You could argue Tyreek Hill is the best receiver in football. You could argue Jalen Waddle is a top 15, top 10 type of receiver. But those two receivers, Florida boys, Zay Flowers being from Florida, I think Zay Flowers is going to have a huge breakout season. When I say breakout season, I would not be surprised if he's looking around, 1,400 total yards. When you do count the playoffs, Zay Flowers had a 1,000-yard season last year as a rookie. So what's it going to look like in year 2? With that connection with Lamar Jackson, year 2 in Todd Monken's offense, because it was a first-year coordinator situation last year. I cannot wait to see Zay Flowers, what he looks like in year 2. He also is looking really swole. You can tell he's putting in the work. He's a workaholic grinder. He's going to put in the work. That's his personality. If you play fantasy football, highly recommend you grab Zay Flowers, because you're going to get some value out of that pick. At number 5, Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely are expected to be on the field in a lot more packages this year, according to John Harbaugh. And this stat right here gets you really excited about it. Isaiah Likely, 152.2 passer rating when targeted in 2023. By the way, that was the highest passer rating when targeted among all targets in the National Football League, wide receivers and tight ends. That's absolutely absurd. When Isaiah Likely gets thrown the football, good things happen, man. You can look at the crazy Jaguars game where Lamar Jackson is scrambling all over the place, throws it up to Isaiah Likely, and Isaiah Likely does some Isaiah Likely things, makes that catch happen. You can also remember the big 4th down conversion where he has that one-handed snag, reaches out his long arms, grabs it with one arm. Huge 4th down conversion, gets a touchdown. Tons of great things happen whenever you throw Isaiah Likely the football. And I can't wait to see him get some more targets and the type of damage that they can do with these 2 and 3 tight end sets. Because I'm telling you, man, when you got Derrick Henry and then these 2 tight ends, maybe Patrick Ricard on the field at the same time, it's obviously you're a threat to run the football, and defenses are going to have to get heavy to be able to stop the run. And then you got 2 elite pass catching targets, 2 great tight ends, top 10 tight ends in the league, Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely going out on routes, and it could be really dangerous. I'm really fired up about this offense, guys. I know we lost a lot on defense, but this offense is going to be potent, explosive. Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, Derrick Henry, and they're not done, man. They're going to add some more talent in the draft as well, and I'm really, really excited for this offense. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section below, man. Don't forget to smash the like button if you enjoyed today's content. I love you guys, appreciate you guys, and we'll see you in the next video.
When he wasn't looking, he ran me over.